Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at some House Flipper 2 leaks, and basically we're looking at a few things the developers appear to be working on behind the scenes. Now before we get into it, just keep in mind everything you're seeing in this video is still in development. So I say that because some things might look a little rough or a little unfinished, and honestly that's totally normal as the devs will be smoothing everything out before things actually release. So the biggest leak we're seeing right now is diagonal walls. Now I know this is something the community has been asking for a very long time, and it looks like the devs are experimenting with it. But right now though, as I was working through it, I felt like this mechanic is still a little bit wonky. So for example, when placing these walls, I wasn't able to place any doors or windows on them. So that's something that they'll definitely have to work on. Now, another thing I noticed is that these walls behave more like the cube item rather than a normal wall. So I went ahead and tried to apply paint to it, and it applied it to the entire surface at once instead of letting you paint like, individual bricks as you normally can when you're using the wall mechanic. So hopefully that's something they improve because, to be able to paint individual sections it would give us more flexibility instead of just painting the whole surface at once. But overall, I'm super excited for this, and I hope, they continue to experiment with this because I believe diagonal walls would open up a ton of new possibilities for buildings. Next up, we have something pretty interesting, window blinds. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is going to be the first set of blinds in House Flipper 2 because right now I think we only have curtains. So with these blinds, it looks like we can customize multiple parts of them. You can change things like the blind itself, the header, and even the strings that hold everything together. You can also place them anywhere on the wall, so not just directly on top of windows. Maybe you're going for a certain aesthetic. These blinds can be manipulated so that you can place them on, it seems like, any surface, and of course you can stretch them using the move tool. So I think that's pretty cool. Next, we have a column, but honestly, the column itself isn't really the most important thing here. I think the most interesting thing here is that we're getting a new material called colored glass. So right now, the game, we mostly just have like regular glass, maybe like tinted glass, but it seems like this new material would allow us to apply different colors to the glass surface. So in this leak, we can see multiple color options as well as what it looks like to be a dark glass variant. And this can be really cool for things like modern builds, different types of partitions, maybe a lighting effect or like a decorative feature you're trying to create. So I think this is pretty cool. Now the column itself is also looks like it's new, like many of the other build items. You can stretch it vertically to fit the space, but I think what really matters here is that new material. So I'm super excited to hear more about this. Next up, we have what appears to be a new stair design. Now, there weren't many customization options available yet. I couldn't change the materials, different patterns or whatever, things like that, much aside from, just changing the base section. But, this is what the stairs currently look like. And I'm not exactly sure, what type of architectural style, this design would fall under, but, it's always nice to see more variety in the stair options, especially for those interior design folks. So this seems like a new stair design that the devs are experimenting with, and what can I say, I love to see it. Next, we have a decorative item called the diagonal cube stack. So basically, this is a decor piece made up of stacked cubes. It doesn't stretch, it doesn't move, and you can't add more cubes to it, but you can apply different, colors. So once you start experimenting with the materials, I think it actually looks pretty cool. It gives a nice little modern decorative object effect. So love to see it. Next is something I personally think really useful, a stretchable table, because right now a lot of the tables in the game are either really large or really small, and there's not really much in between. So because of that, I actually end up using the cube item most of the time to build my own custom tables. But with this new table, it looks like we'll be able to stretch it in different sizes and of course apply materials, and I feel like this would just make it so much easier to create custom furniture setups without having to build everything from cubes. Next, it looks like we're getting a dedicated sign item. So I know right now, if you want to write something in the game, you usually have to use the custom carpet, and on that, it allows you to type text on it. But with this new item, it looks like we'll be able to create actual signs with custom messages. So I think that's pretty cool. And just like the other items, you'll be able to apply the materials, the different colors. So since we're getting this new glass material, I feel like we'll be able to make like these glass signs, which I feel like would look really cool, really modern. One small audible mention, I did see something labeled dragon eggs in the files, but right now it doesn't really have any materials or details. It's basically just a spear, so it might be something coming later. I don't know, but I wanted to include it in here. I'm hoping the devs, somehow maybe they see this video and, this kind of pushes them to experiment further with it, because I think having dragon eggs in the game would be awesome. But other than that, guys, those are all the current leaks that we've seen so far. So overall, I think things are heading in the right direction, especially with the diagonal walls, since that's something the community has wanting for a very long time. Now, I hope the devs continue improving that system and eventually release it into the game. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, as I post a lot of House Flipper 2 builds, tips, and updates. So subscribing will help you stay up to date with everything going on in the game. And with that being said, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Fantastic.